and welcome to Math 10, College Algebra for Fall of 2025. The purpose of this video is to give an introduction to the course, tell what the course is about, go over some of the features of Canvas that we'll need in order to complete the course, and go over the syllabus, where the syllabus will tell us information about policies and procedures for the whole course. So we'll start with some information about Canvas first. When you log into Canvas, you should see something that looks like this. Down the leftmost part, the pieces that you will need will be here under Account. That's how you will log out of Canvas when you're finished. Courses that you can use to switch between the courses that you may be taking. Other than that, feel free to click on anything that you may see here. In general, in Canvas, you won't break something by clicking on it. But those are the main things that you will need: how to log out and how to switch between courses. In the second column, you'll need maybe Home or discussions. If we have discussions that you need to post to, those will be under discussions. Modules will take you to the same place that Home does. Other than that, you may be interested in task tutoring. If you're interested in tutoring either online or in person, you can click on that. Anything else, feel free to click on that and see what it does. For the most part, we'll mainly be in this middle panel right here where it says Getting Started. The first block here that we have, the Getting Started block, the introduction start here. That's the video you're watching right now. The next one, Intro to MyOpenMath, goes over how to set up and use the MyOpenMath software that we'll be using to do our math throughout this course. Syllabus, that's a document. We'll be looking at that in a few minutes. One thing that you'll notice as you work through Canvas is things that have a little picture to the left that looks like a paperclip point to a document. Things that look like either like a chain link or looks like kind of like a pair of glasses. Those are external links. So usually links to videos in my classes. So syllabus, a link to MyOpenMath itself, a document that shows you how to create the MyOpenMath account. To create the MyOpenMath account, you're going to need a course ID, which is shown right here, 294676. And then there's a link to our textbook. The textbook for our class is free, so there's a link to it right here. In case you're concerned that this says pre-calculus, when our class is college algebra, pre-calculus is kind of a combination of college algebra and trigonometry. We'll be just using the algebra portion, of course. So that's the Getting Started block. You'll notice to the left of the words Getting Started, there's a little triangle here that points downward. When you see that, that means that that's a block that can be expanded or compressed. Right now it's pointing downward, which indicates that it's expanded. If I click on that, now the triangle points to the right, and you'll notice that all the links and files below that are now missing. So that's just because we've compressed the block. Below Getting Started, there's a helpful information block. That is some handouts that cover things like test anxiety, negative thoughts during test taking, how to prepare for a exam. So take a look through those things. If you find any of that helpful or maybe anti-helpful, then let me know. But that would be hopefully some good resources to help you as you get started. Okay, beyond that, we have, first of all, Chapter 1, which is where we'll be beginning. Notes for Section 1.1, and then following that, lectures on 1.1 come after, and then so far just Sections 1.1 and 1.2 are here. So how you would work through this course is read through the notes and watch the videos, and then after you know about MyOpenMath, you'd work on the assignments from there. So that so far is everything that is posted, and everything really that you will need out of Canvas in order to proceed in our course. The next thing that we'll do is we'll take a look at the syllabus. Okay. So as I'd said, this is Math 10, it's college algebra, it's fall of 2025. I'm the instructor, Dan Kleinfelter. My email is here as shown. If you do email me, it will be helpful if you put your name and Math 10 somewhere in the email or in the subject line. That way I know which class you're in. I have office hours on the Palm Desert campus, Mondays, Wednesdays, 11 to 12:30, and Tuesdays, Thursdays, 12:30 to 1:30. I am also available by Zoom during those times. If you send me a message and let me know so that I can get the camera set up. Right. And also, of course, you can send me emails and messages through Canvas or MyOpenMath if you have questions. All right, content for the course. Basically, this class is a second course in algebra. It covers, its kind of unifying theme is the idea of a function. And so the classes of functions that we'll be dealing with will be linear functions, polynomial functions, exponential and logarithmic functions, and then rational functions, along with some applications and graphs. The primary reason people take this class is as to satisfy a transfer requirement. I need a transferable math class. So that's the primary reason people will take the class. It also serves as a prerequisite for applied calculus courses. All right, moving on. Prerequisites for the class, essentially intermediate algebra, which is Math 49 at COD, or qualifying placement. If you have a question over whether you are prepared for the class, then you can let me know or contact a counselor for additional information. There's an advisory of English 1A. An advisory means kind of an advice or a recommendation for English 1A. We won't be doing writing essays or reading short stories or anything in this class, but the English advisory is just to kind of ensure that you're able to read through story problems and written directions in our textbook and on the exams. Okay, there's also an advisory co-requisite of Math 351, and what that is a course that can help you refresh your memory on certain skills that you will need in this class that you may have forgotten. If you're interested in Math 351, you can contact the instructor of that course or a counselor for more information about that course. Overall, if you have a question about your suitability for this class, then let me know and I can help you with that. The format for the class, this class is asynchronous, which means that there's no live lectures. You don't have to get on the computer and log into Zoom like Tuesdays and Thursdays at 11 or something like that. The whole class takes place like this, where you'll watch videos and then get on the computer and do homework, read through notes, do homework. You can do this according to your convenience. So if you like to work in the morning or in the night or at any time that is at your convenience up until due dates, of course. So one thing to note is College of the Desert's located in California. So if you're somewhere else or if you're on vacation or something, keep in mind that due times are Pacific time. So you'll have to adjust for that if you're in a different time zone. As I'd mentioned, we'll be using OpenStax Pre-Calculus for our textbook. There's a link to it right here, and there's links to it elsewhere on Canvas too. You can actually use pretty much any college algebra or pre-calculus textbook. If you happen to have one laying around, that's great. Of course, references in our course material will be made to the OpenStax book. But pretty much all algebra books cover the same things. You just have to find it. It's up to you whether you have a paper copy of the textbook or just the electronic copy. That's fine with me. Okay, assessment, your grade is based on 3 exams worth 15% of your grade each. That totals 45% of your grade. We'll have homework for 27% of your grade, video assignments worth 5%. What video assignments are like, you're not going to be making videos. Homework, you basically will have just problems presented on the screen. You do the work, answer the question, and that's it. For video assignments, you watch a video and then answer questions based on the video. So slightly different, but you're not making videos, you're just watching videos. Participation and discussion questions, that's 3% of your grade. And then finally, at the very end, a comprehensive final for 20% of your grade. There's no makeups for missed work. I think you should get like a calendar or something and keep track of dates so that you don't miss things. Exams will be scheduled in advance and typically will occur on Thursday mornings. Maybe not morning necessarily. I'll plan to give you the whole day for the exams, but we'll try to keep them on Thursdays. You'll have at least a week's notice that the exam is coming. I plan to make it so that you have 90 minutes for the exam. If you have any concerns about the exam times, let me know. The final exam will be on Thursday, December 18th. You'll have 2 hours to complete that exam. None of the exams, including the final, can be taken early or late. If you miss one of those first 3 exams, that is one of the ones that's worth 15% of your grade, if you miss one of those first 3, I'll replace that missing test score with whatever equivalent percentage you earn on the final exam. But you do need to let me know via email or Canvas message or something, at least on the day of the missed exam or before. Only one missing score can be replaced in this way. If you have the misfortune of missing 2 or more tests, only the first one will get replaced by the final and any others would be 0. So try not to miss more than one exam. Be careful not to miss deadlines. It's up to you to keep track of due dates. I do occasionally send reminders, but it's pretty much up to you to keep track of when things are due. Your grade is determined by your combined overall percentage. You need to earn 90 for an A, 80 for a B, and so on. COD doesn't do plus minus grading, so it's pretty much just that. There's no rounding guaranteed, so a 79.8% might still be a C. So keep that in mind. Homework, like I said, will be done using My Open Math. Your name on My Open Math needs to match your name on self-service and Canvas. So that's just for my record keeping and helping ensure that the grades are done correctly, frankly. So make sure that whatever name you're using in Canvas and self-service, that's the one that you pick for My Open Math too. Okay. All right, so you'll want a scientific calculator. It's up to you really which one that you use. Some exams we may not be using calculators, so there's that. Your attendance isn't used in calculating your grade. However, people who attend in an online class like this, attendance is logging in, reading the notes, watching the videos, doing the work. That's attendance as far as I'm concerned. Students who do those things tend to do better than people who don't. You may be dropped from the class if you don't do work in My Open Math for 4 or more consecutive days without contacting me. If there's some reason why you're not going to be able to be on the computer for 4 days and you still want the class, then let me know that you're going to be, I don't know, somewhere there's no internet access for 4 days, but say, okay, well, I still want to be in the class. Okay. The thing is with online classes, sometimes people will sign up and they get busy with their work or in-person classes and they'll put the online class kind of on the back burner and forget about it. If I get on the computer and see that you haven't done any work for some days, then I may assume that you're just never coming back. If you don't do any work for this class for like a few weeks, you probably won't end up with a good grade. So I try to drop people so that they don't end up with a F on their transcript just because they quit coming. Okay. If you do, however, want to stay in the class, just send me a message and let me know. Classroom conduct, you can read through that. Basically, be honest and civil and courteous to one another. In posting to discussions, we'll want to use adult, polite work or school appropriate language. If multiple people are in my office hours, we're going to take turns. So pretty common sense. Students with disabilities, read through that. If any of that applies to you, let me know, and also contact DSPS as soon as possible. Academic integrity, basically do not cheat. There's no extra credit in our course. You want to do your best the first time. A lot of people find math challenging. Even people who like math will find it challenging. Here's some advice that can help make it a bit easier for you. I think you should log into Canvas and My Open Math at least 4 days a week. Which 4 days is pretty much up to you, but at least 4 days a week. Math works better if you work on it more frequently. If you have, let's say that you've decided that you're going to work on math for 7 hours a week. I picked that just because it's easy to divide. If you're going to work on math for 7 hours a week, you're better off doing 1 hour every day than you are doing nothing all week and then 7 hours on Saturday for a couple of reasons. For one thing, learning just works better if you break it up into pieces. If you try to do one huge marathon, you're not going to learn as much. Also, it's kind of demoralizing to like sit down on Saturday and think, okay, I've got this huge mass of homework to do. Nobody wants to do that. It's easier if you break it up into little pieces. Okay, I plan for you to read the book. You should read the sections before trying the assignments and watching the videos. Okay, math takes practice. And it takes practice, as I said, kind of distributed over time. Only you know how much you need. Different people will need different amounts of time. The kind of college rule of thumb for this class would be It takes about probably 8 hours a week to get the work done aside from the time spent watching lectures. That's going to depend on the person though. Some people will need more time, some people will need less. You have to do the homework in order to learn. You should correct gaps in your prerequisite knowledge as they arise. If you've forgotten how to do fractions or whatever, get help with that either from a peer or from me or from the tutoring center or somewhere. Because as I'd said, if you get lost or behind, it's really hard to catch up. What follows student learning outcomes, that's basically supposed to be kind of an everyday language explanation of what we cover in this class. I'll leave it to you to read through that. All right, so that takes us to the end of the syllabus. Read through that also, and if you have any questions about it, let me know. That covers primarily the kind of method for the course, which is the format, that is that it's asynchronous, and then how the grading goes. What you'll want to do next, we've finished this introduction start here video. You'll want to watch the intro to My Open Math video next, and then see about getting that My Open Math account created. So that's the end. Let me know if you have any questions. Welcome to the class. I hope you enjoy it. I enjoy teaching it. College algebra is one of my favorite things to teach. So I hope you get something out of it. And again, if you have any questions, let me know and have a great day.